So why this is the only video you need to see as a property investor, or if you were someone planning to make a move, because anything else that you will see online will be interpretations of these scenarios and possible outcomes. There is nothing else you can do except what you will see in this video. And why you should even listen to me is because I have personal commitment to properties right now in UAE for more than $5 million combined, and I'm talking to you as someone who has skin in the game. I'm also a real estate expert and broker in UAE. I'm talking to a lot of investors, both institutional and individual, and I'm tracking both moods and transactions and trying to find a proper way for me to act. So here in this video, I'm wearing a hat of property investor and expert and sharing with you my personal strategy and my personal next moves for the tactical horizon. There is another video that I made about strategic horizon. Let's say what will happen eventually after all the events are done, after any kind of agreement is reached and the war is over. For that strategic level, I have another video, but this one is for the events that will be unfolding in next 3 weeks to up to 3 months. Let's call it tactical horizon. And if I'm not concerned about strategic horizon, what will be happening in next year, 2 or 3, where most of handovers of current investors will be coming online, I'm more concerned about the moves that will be done in next 3 weeks to 3 months. This tactical horizon, let's call it that way, will define who will lose money. And not to find yourself among those, you need to watch this video. And if you are someone watching this video and even a glimpse of thought coming to your mind that, oh, you say this because you are selling real estate in Dubai, just skip this video. It's not for you. It's for clever people who are already committed or were planning to make a move, and they need missing puzzles in a general picture to understand how to navigate this tactical horizon, 3 weeks to up to 3 months. Now, for those who don't know me, who I am, and why you should be even listening to me, I have more than 12 years of experience in investment field, from being CEO of investment group, from being a minister of investment in one of the regions in Russia, and being someone who did master plans of the cities from scratch. I know a thing or two how investments are done, how they are navigated, and how to properly exit them. With this being settled, here is the outcome of my analysis, what you shouldn't be doing in this tactical horizon. And I'm doing this video as part of my commitment to help investors in the market, my clients, and broader audience to understand the proper moves, and most importantly, what not to do currently is to not lose the money, because the biggest loss will be done in next 3 weeks to 3 months. So from the start of this event, I've been monitoring market to understand the moods, first of all, because in any big market, you need to understand the moods of investors and the owners of assets to understand where the market will be going and if there are prevailing reactions in the market. I've been talking to retail investors, individual investors, I've been talking to those who want to sell properties, and to institutional investors. So just to give you a picture where we are right now, for institutional investors, first of all, because they can have an impact on the market, it's too early to make any moves. Yes, they flagged the market as a high level of uncertainty, and it's more related not to the Dubai real estate fundamentals, but to the oil prices. So because of the oil prices that now have chances to reach up to $200, first, what institutional investors will be doing, they will be liquidating some liquid assets like stocks. They will be exiting that assets into cash. So that's the logical behavior for institutional investments in the market that is not related to fundamentals of real estate in Dubai. Then I've been talking to my clients and a lot of other people in the market to see if there are perceptions or one type of behavior that is prevailing right now. Because in a city where you have 4 million population and a lot of people from abroad who are investing in this market, you might have all the spectrum of human response to stress. Someone needs to move, through doing any moves, they're digesting stress. Some people just freeze in a stressful situation. And other end of the spectrum might be people who are ignoring any safety measures, any government instructions, just to digest the stress that way. So in between these two ends of spectrum, you will find any possible reactions to the stress because it's a large number of people. So what interested me is there a prevailing group of people in the market behaving same way? Because if you have all the possible reactions, is one now leading market to some direction? And honestly, I didn't find any kind of panic sales, distress deals, etc. And that's an important point, first point where you might lose money right now. But before I give you that point where you can lose money, the broader picture in the market right now is following. People took pause to understand what will be happening. There is a high level of uncertainty. Institutional investors are not making any moves right now because real estate has big inertia and it's too early to make any kind of moves. Now, the first stop where investors might be losing money right now in Dubai refers to people who are not committed yet into any properties, will sitting on some money and fundamentals didn't change for them. They might be looking for a home here, or they might be looking to invest money here because they're saving their money that they're transferring here from some other market. Regardless where this market will go in short term, in another 2 or 3 years, they will get actually robbed back in their countries with what they call taxes. And in 2 or 3 years term, they understand that the market will grow or recover from current situation. So when they are planning their move right now, and I see that from an increasing call from my clients, they and a broader group of investors, they are looking for distressed deals in the market. They are expecting that the properties will have discounts so that they have better entry point. Honestly, I've been looking for that kind of deals in the market. And why I'm saying you might be losing money right now is because I didn't find any valuable assets right now being discounted. The only assets right now that are packed as a distressed deals in the market right now currently are the ones that didn't make any investment sense even before the war. Something that is just home buying process. And I always divide these two. There is a home buying when you buy a home to live and don't expect it to make you any kind of money, and there is real estate investment where you are investing in market gaps and value to price gaps, and that kind of assets, they are not in any kind of distress deals or offers right now. But that first group, when someone bought something that has no value, or someone bought an asset and after that he realized that it's not an investment at all, these two groups of assets now are packed as distressed deals. And if you buy any of them, don't expect them to grow regardless of what will be the outcome of this war. So be careful, nothing valuable is still distressed. It's too early, first of all. And second of all, and I honestly think that we will not see any big discounts in the market for anything that made investment sense. Why I don't believe in any big corrections in the market and distressed deals for valuable assets? Well, there are a couple of reasons. I will return to them later. Now, whatever you see right now as a distressed deal, I'm, as an investor, is looking closely at these deals because I want to add something to my portfolio, and there are clients of mine who are ready to put in the money if there is anything valuable. But believe me, it's too early. This was current market snapshot, and now I'll give you scenarios, what you can do or what you shouldn't do based on where you are with your investments. First, if you're already committed to some properties, you bought something off plan that is under construction and will be handed over in the next 2 or 3 years. The best advice you can utilize, and what I'm doing right now as an investor who has more than $5 million of commitments, do not change anything. First of all, it's too early to make any moves. Those who will panic, those who will adjust their strategies right now, they will not gain anything, they will lose money. Your exit point or realization of your profits will come in 2 or 3 years. No one believes that these events will have impact in 2 or 3 or 4 years horizon. So doing any moves is very, very premature. Your property is not there yet. Your exit is too far from current events. If we remember COVID, if we remember floods and all the big events that might have influenced the market, if you check the dates and how market was evolving, you will see that 1-2 years is a too long horizon for modern world. Situations can change very quickly. So the bounce back after COVID, after floods, after financial crisis was very fast. So if you make any moves when the market is paused or If you will see any kind of correction, then you cannot gain anything. Just pause and do nothing. Do not change your strategy. Now, second group of investors, if you just booked property or if you submitted EOI, should you take it back or should you cancel your booking? Absolutely not. What will be happening again in short-term horizon, you will not find better deals. There will be no discounts from developers. Any developer who has a valuable land or project understands that he has enough liquidity. This market was very generous. Developers have enough liquidity to survive 1 or 2 years, even if they are not selling anything. Okay, so they will not be discounting really valuable assets that they got. The biggest struggle for developers in this market today is to find a valuable piece of land. And if some developers are building something valuable, you will not see any discounts, believe me. Do not cancel your bookings or EOIs if you assess the project, if you've seen value over there. I hope you did. And if you made a move, you will not have better entrance point later. What might happen actually after any kind of agreement is achieved, after this tactical horizon is passed, we will see the bounce back and bigger optimism in the market. Those who pause their moves and investments, they will come back to the market, they start investing. And imagine that in this market we had 200,000 transactions per year. So every month we had tens of thousands of people investing, and now they're sitting on the sideline and waiting. Okay, so when all of them get a signal that, okay, there is an agreement reached, it's safe to make the moves, what happens to the prices when they come to the market? There will be no better entrance point. So do not cancel something if you've already committed to a project. That will be a direct loss of money. Now, third type of property owners in the market are those who are close to handover next 2 or 3 weeks, or those have ready properties that they wanted to liquidate or they wanted to put on short-term rents. Now here, it's a bit more complicated. In short-term horizon, if you bought something that you wanted to put on rent in touristically attractive areas, short-term horizon for these properties will see a slowdown. We will not see a lot of Airbnb activity in the city. It's natural that after these events occurred, there are no people flying in for vacation, right? Well, there are, of course, majorly from my country, Russians flying in anyway, because you cannot frighten them with 2 rocket debris falling in the city. We had way worse scenarios for the last 2 or 3 years. So, but in general, it's natural that touristic activity will slow down, but it's unlikely that that will be the case for the next 6 months, 1 year. It will all eventually bounce back in next 3 months or less. Now, of course, we can look at the extreme spectrum of what events we might see, like a nuclear blast, like a all-out war, everyone against everyone. But now, realistically, assess that chances. If you truly believe that it's 80% and higher chances that this kind of extreme events will be happening, then of course you are good to sell. But me personally, I'd rather wait for 3 weeks to 3 months and then take that losses of missed rents rather than selling property right now when buyers are expecting some significant discounts and sellers are not willing to take any losses. It's not the best move, and I think you don't want to find yourself among that 80% in any market that are selling when it's not time to sell and that they are buying when it's not time to buy. If your plan was to put properties on long-term rents, majority of long-term contracts will be done in summer. That's historically happening in Dubai. By summer, all this situation will have some resolution, and I don't see yet any significant reasons why Dubai will become less attractive for residents and families living here. Just try to get rid of all that media nonsense that we've seen the last 2 weeks. Some of them are utilizing just blunt lies and going all out against Dubai because they finally have a talking point, especially those British media outlets. Just imagine the level of nonsense when debris of a drone fell near Fairmont Hotel in Palm Jumeirah. The headlines were Palm Jumeirah turned into a fireball. Well, if that's the level of journalism that we are using to make investment decisions, then we can do any random moves in the market. But honestly, what we will see in Dubai after this event is reshuffling and reassessing which areas are more attractive for families, which are not. But the fundamentals, the reasons why people are moving to Dubai, they didn't change. A lot of Western countries' arrogance that think that the world is spinning around them will hit back on the property investors who share these thoughts. Just look at where Dubai is and why people were moving here. Half of the world, Africa, China, India, Pakistan, Russia, Ukraine, European countries, they were moving to Dubai, families, capital, and business, because it's the only city right now in the world where you can have what I call three bases for family, for business, and for capital. There are countries that are touristically attractive, that are nice places to live, but you can't hold your capital there. I think everyone will agree that you don't bring your capital into, let's say, Thailand, Turkey, or Vietnam right now, despite the fact that they're beautiful countries where you can live. You don't have international level of education and healthcare where you can raise a family, and the proper environment for that, and the level of services, and the safety in the streets. Still, safety is another topic, we'll discuss that later. So, for doing business, for bringing in capital, and for bringing in your family, there is no other city. When these events are done, eventually, after this tactical horizon reaches some agreement, this city didn't change. It is not part of the conflict. The fundamentals didn't change, and the safety in terms of violence in the streets and violent crimes didn't change. Nothing changed. So with these fundamentals still in place, tell me, what is the second option for people? Now I'll give you the target audiences who are inhabiting this city, majority of its population, and you tell me what is the next option if Dubai is not safe anymore, as they say. India-Pakistan tensions and wars push out people to Dubai. Tax legislation pushes people out of UK and Europe in general. And honestly, you can be in Dubai, you can be traveling, but if you moved your capital and your business here, you are taking on less risks, even under large-scale military aggression. Now, third group, imagine people running from Russia-Ukraine conflict from both sides. They were used to much worse events, and that's what they escaped. Where they will go back? They are here, they're staying here, and their life here is way better than where they come from. Chinese investors and residents, UK, Latin America, half of Asia, African countries. For all that people, Dubai is financially better. In terms of safety, it's better. In terms of environment for raising kids, it's better. And even if you have extreme events like now, okay, again, after we pass these uncertain times, what's the other option? Where they can move, where they can go back? There is no alternative. And that's the reason why in reality you will not meet what, let's say, headlines are saying. In Financial Times, I've read that half of Dubai's population is booking tickets and leaving Dubai. Oh yes, that exists only in a parallel reality where Financial Times authors live. On the ground in Dubai, majority of residents, when they see how UAE is handling this situation, they united around the leadership. Then you cannot say that half of population is changing their life plans or moving somewhere. This is simply not true. So returning to the point, if you are a property owner that is ready or close to handover, or you were planning to put your property on long-term rents, nothing changed for you yet. With the cold head, without emotions, take this as a 3-month pause to your plans, but don't change strategy. To change strategy, it's still too early. Now, if you are planning to invest in the market, what you should be doing, again, if you delete the emotions and you try to look at it logically, anyone will tell you, and anyone agrees with the statement that you should be buying when everyone is afraid to buy, and you should be selling when everyone wants to buy. Theoretically, everyone agrees with that. But historically, no one behaves that way. People now are questioning for how long this conflict will last. What will be the eventual outcome? Will there be a quick agreement, or it will last for a long time? What will happen to the market? Of course, there is this level of uncertainty, but this uncertainty is the premium for the risks you take in any market, anywhere you invest. 80 to 20% distribution will be following. Those 80% that lose money, they lose because they're buying when you need to sell, and they're selling when the market goes down or the market faces correction. Even having historic data, people will still behave the same way. And historic data for this country is following. Take, for example, COVID. That event had larger impact on UAE in general than the current event. Yes, that situation was worse than right now. Under current circumstances, we had 4 casualties in UAE as the aftermath of more than 1,500 of drones and rockets launched towards UAE. It's a large-scale military aggression. And I don't know any other example in modern history who handled that kind of aggression in a better way. UAE showed the best management model during COVID. As I say, that was even worse scenario because for the city that depends on international business, tourism, on a lot of hotels, restaurants, and vacation tourists. COVID was a nightmare. If I told you in 2020 that you should be investing in real estate because that will bounce back significantly and you will make a lot of money in 3 years horizon, you would laugh at that suggestion. So how is current situation different? It's the same level of uncertainty. No one knows when this will end and how eventually it will end. But what we know by far is that if there is 1% chance to navigate this situation in the best possible way, this team and this leadership in the country knows how to realize that 1%. They know how to get there. There is no other government that benefited more from the way how they handled COVID than UAE. So it's the same leadership and the same team in charge right now. So with the less impact of current events on the population and on the market in general, and yes, it's less impact because we had just 4 casualties, unfortunately, and less people impacted by this situation compared to COVID when everyone was impacted, everyone was locked down. Regardless of your occupation, business, your family status, everyone suffered. Currently, it's not that bad, okay? So I'm more than sure that not being directly part of this conflict and suffering just side effects and consequences of this conflict in the region, Dubai and UAE's leadership will find that way how to navigate this situation in a way that it eventually strengthens the market and gives it even better optimism. If I told you exactly the same words during COVID, again, no one would believe that because that statement wouldn't have any basis. Sorry for this going deep into side topics, just returning to the advice I can give you based on current situation and current events is following. If you already invested, if you already committed into offline projects that will be coming online in the next 2 or 3 years, and that's my situation, what I'm doing right now is preparing some cash to be able to jump on some valuable assets. That's the worst case scenario for me, because if the prices will really go down for valuable assets that make investment sense, I shouldn't be selling at that time. I should be adding, not because I want to operate in this level of uncertainty, but it's because the only way to survive, for my money to survive, is to add more properties with a lower entry price. Because when eventually market bounces back, my return on equity will be higher and my portfolio will be saved. So it's not because I want to invest more or I want to be over optimistic. It's the only rational behavior, regardless of the asset class, stocks, bonds, crypto, whatever you're investing. The only people who make money, they are always adding more to portfolio when the prices go down. If we will not see prices going down, I'm not doing any random moves. I'm following the same strategy I had 12 months ago, 14 months ago, when I entered that properties. Because as I said, I'm not giving a lot of chances for this situation to develop in long run in a way that the market will crash, it will go down, etc. Those people talking about market crash, they never had a proper idea how this market even functions. So for properties that never made investment sense, there are all possible scenarios what will happen. But for valuable assets that are scarce, that make investment sense, that were bought with a big asking price to value gap, nothing will happen. I'm more than sure in that. And it's my line of behavior for my properties. And that's a line of behavior for my investors. The market goes down, we are buying more. If valuable assets are not coming with the discounts, we are carrying on with the current strategy. If you were looking to buy a home, wait. It might be that the properties that didn't make investment sense, but they're perfect homes to live in, they might be the first to see discounts. Third advice I can share with you, stay calm, do not panic. This country's leadership has shown one of the best skills in the world, how to navigate high levels of uncertainty and how to benefit from them, how to come back even stronger each time. And if you want to see why, this is the video I did about the long run and about the strategic horizon. Or if you will need one-on-one call with me and a consultation with your next move in the market, there will be contact details in the description.